But a lot of the times he was a doctor, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the adventures would take place when he'd go with Sherlock, but he didn't live there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Other times he would live there. He especially lived there during the 9 months of his medical leave.
That makes sense.
So,
I wonder why he didn't hang out with his wife during then.
I don't know if he... I don't know, really. I mean, it's also possible his wife was somewhere else. I haven't actually read all the Sherlock Holmes books. I would like to read some of them.
I'd like to read them, too.
But it's one of the many things that falls under I haven't gotten to it. But I've watched some of the shows and the movies and stuff. They're all different, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, let's look at this real quick.
Mm-hmm. To figure out the height, right?
Yeah, and all the other stuff. So, let's see, no, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. 3 inches taller, who is 5 feet tall.
So 5'3", first off.
The man must have been 30 years old, about 5'7", he says. Light complexion, a fair mustache. He wore a loose, dark jacket, a gray cap, and a red scarf around his neck. Okay, so this guy is considered 5'7".
Why not 5'3", though?
Because he said 5'7".
But the other one said 5'3".
Let's reread Abraham's testimony.
The other one said 5'3", though.
Okay,
Same
well,
thing.
I know, but why don't I read it to you as to why I'm saying these things? So, at first, Abraham says that the man was about 3 inches taller than her, and she was only 5 feet tall, right? So that's where the 5'3" comes in. But then Abraham says the man must have been 30 years old and about 5'7". So I don't understand. Is he supposed to be 5'3" or is he supposed to be 5'7"?
I don't know.
Because Sherlock just said he's not 5'7". But I don't understand.
Indeed, Watson, that's the right size for Abraham's mannequin. The account given by Mr. Solomonovich's friend is incorrect in at least one point. The first Joseph said that the man was at least 5'7" tall. The second Joseph said he was 3 inches taller than the victim, whom we know was 5 feet tall, which would suggest a height of 5'3". Don't forget that it was this second Joseph who attracted his friend's attention towards the couple on the other side of the road. We can assume he got a very good look at them.
So the first man wasn't getting a good enough look at them.
Oh, okay. So the guy who said 5'7" was just bullshit.
He didn't really know.
He was just an idiot.
Now we have to figure out the age, or we can do the heights of all of them first.
So this guy had a gray cap.
Yep.
They said, what, 30 years old, they said? I thought they said 30.
Something in there?
I gotta scroll down again.
Yeah.
Light complexion, fair mustache, 30 years old.
About 30 years old, yeah.
Loose dark jacket and gray cap, and red scarf around the neck.
So, loose dark jacket and the red scarf. Is that a loose dark jacket?
Yeah, I thought that was loose.
We don't have a red scarf.
We do not, but we have a good mustache.
Perfect, Watson.
Nice.
Okay, so now what's this guy?
This guy's the one from Smith, PC Principal.
PC Principal, yeah.
So, wait. I only saw him from behind. He was wearing a short black outfit and a small felt hat like a cap in a dark color. So dark.
And a white collar.
Yeah, dark hat, which is felt.
So, short black outfit, small felt hat.
Short black outfits are all on the far left. See that one on the far left?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird controls, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like that would have worked better on computer.
Let's see what else he might have had to say after that. 30 years old or even less, 26.
Yeah, try 26.
And 5'8". He had a small, dark brown mustache and olive complexion. So, brown hair, 26 years old, 5'8".
Yeah. Hard to tell which one's brown.
I know. Okay, so 5'8", and then 26 years old.
Yeah. So are we going to cross compare all of these things?
Yes. supposedly.
That should be correct. Unless you picked the wrong hat.
I don't think I picked the wrong hat. There was the only other hat left.
Huh. What about the other,
Other jacket?
Yeah?
I think this one's the shortest one, though. Maybe I just haven't clicked on something?
I was looking up like,
Oh, a hat!
that's one of the hats you're missing. Try
I
that
was
hat.
missing a hat.
I didn't even know we were missing a hat.
I didn't know we were missing a hat either.
There we are. Magnificent.
Okay.
So that means this guy is going to be wearing this hat.
Well, did we already check that he's wearing a hat?
I bet he's wearing a hat, and I bet he's going to be wearing this outfit, too.
What color hair?
I don't know, but I'm betting it's orange.
You're betting it's orange.
I'm betting it's orange.
Well, this wouldn't help. All of them look different then.
On the morning of the murder, the witness, blah, 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 blah. 40 years old, 5'3", brown deerstalker hat, dark jacket, dark hair and mustache, dark face, possibly a foreigner. So 5'3" and 40 years old. And I guess he had brown hair instead of orange. I wish he had brown. I wish he had orange hair.
As for young P.C. Smith's account, he must have been mistaken about this person's real height. It is only an inch or two after all, and we can attribute the same height as the other two. Perfect, Watson. Bravo, Watson. Our mannequins have been recreated based on the correct accounts. Now, Watson, let's see in what ways these statements differ and how the witnesses could have been mistaken. Let's look at these wigs and moustaches. Let's start by taking the first Joseph's testimony, who saw the man head-on in a well-lit spot and in which he noted fair hair. Now, let's consider the same person, but in the lighting and angle of the other two witnesses, in the darkness of night, with poor artificial lighting from above. Put out the light, Watson. Thus, poor lighting and a backlit subject can affect our perception of shades and colors. The wigs from Abraham's mannequin took on the same color as the other two. The three testimonies, therefore, don't contradict one another, and we can apply the same facial hair to all three mannequins. Turn on the light, Watson.
So the hair color isn't a problem, it's because it was dark.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So basically,
That's like what I said
they were
about
all
their
blonde?
heights. Remember how I said the one guy seeing the height would look differently?
yeah, and then we established that the guy's supposed to be 5'3".
I thought they were all brown.
No, I thought they were all supposed to be blonde.
Yes, I have, Holmes.
Well done, Watson. With regards to the murderer's hair, the three witnesses should agree on Abraham's testimony. As Joseph is the only one who saw our man in full light, his hair must therefore be fair. You see, Watson, it is hard to draw objective conclusions when one is an eyewitness to an event. This leads us to reconsider the various statements regarding the supposed age of the man. Even if you are face to face with someone in full light and for a period of several hours, to what extent can you determine their exact age? And even more so if you observe them for only a few seconds and or from behind. We must allow some flexibility when considering our witnesses' statements, but always scientific flexibility. Now that we have fully considered the witness accounts, let's see to what extent they agree. If we apply the range of error for each of our dummies, we can deduce the age of our murderer as precisely as possible.
I think it's cool that they took into account the fact that basically they were flawed understandings because of the lighting and the time of day and the angles and stuff.
And not being able to estimate an age very well.
They also have that problem as well with actual human accounts of criminals, you know, where it's like people will get stuff wrong or they will be traumatized so they'll misremember something.
That's true, actually.
Sometimes people will subconsciously insert details to try and figure something out in their head and not even know that they affected what they saw.
Don't forget that, according to Abraham, the man was seen face on from a few feet away by the first Joseph, who shouldn't be out by more than a few years. For Abraham's mannequin, we should allow a margin of 3 to 5 years.
So 3 to 5 years. So that would make it 22. So either 22 to 33. Wait, no. Go 3 down would be 32. 22 to 32, honey. Wait, try the bottom one now. Try 28 and 38.
Okay. Oh wait, going the wrong way. Sorry.
And then 38. 3 to 5 should be tolerance of years. 3 to 5. Well, that should be like, huh? Yeah, I was never very good with this.
Yeah, I've never seen this puzzle before.
I was never very good with it at all, in terms of the actual tolerance stuff. I would think it would be 25 to 35, and then try 26 to 34.
26 to 34. Okay.
That's the wrong way, honey.
Sorry.
That's okay. So let me look at this. 3 to 5 years. Stop. Let me just look at it. So how do we fully get there?
27 to 33.
Perfect, Watson.
How did you find that?
So it's a pattern. 25, 26, 27, 35, 34, 33.
Interesting.
So if this one's going to be 16, let's try...
No, it's a different tolerance. Look, 7 to 10 now.
Oh. Well, now I'm not sure.
Anyone in the comments who's good at math is like, these motherfuckers.
I don't really understand.
So, try... 16 to 36 is a huge age range.
Oh, yeah.
Try 17 to... Yeah.
To 35.
So now try 18 and... Do 18 and then go down one and do 19 so that we have those correct.
And so this is going to be 34 and then 33.
Yeah. And then we're going to kind of figure out a tolerance, I think, between all of these numbers together, like how they could average out in a way.
I guess.
As an age range.
It kind of seems a little crazy.
Try 31, 32.
And 48.
Maybe 48, yeah. Alright, so then 47 and 33?
I still don't really understand this puzzle very much, to be honest with you.
We're basically trying to figure out this age range of what his age could be based off of inaccurate accounts in terms of what would be logical within how they could have messed it up.
I guess I don't understand where he got his numbers from, though, to be honest.
I'm going to tell you right
Excellent.
now, I don't understand
now,
it fully
on to
either.
the next step.
Yes, I have, Holmes.
Now that
Yes,
we
I
fully
have,
considered
Holmes.
the witness accounts, let's see to what extent they agree. If we apply the range of error for each of our dummies, we can deduce the age of our murderer as precisely as possible.
Okay.
We would be wise to treat this witness account with a degree of skepticism. For Long's mannequin, the margin of error is from 7 to 10 years.
Try going down 7 years.
What, to like 33?
Yeah, now stop at 33. So wait a minute. So this one is 7 to 10 years as well.
Oh, wait, 33 is on every single one of them.
And 33.
Yeah, 33
so
is on every single one of them.
So I think he's in his early 30s. I don't know why you're going down.
Sorry, I was thinking about 33.
Perfect, Watson. Within a margin of 1 year, Watson, the age of our murderer is 33 years.
But the man described by Smith was dressed respectably, whereas the other two were poorly dressed.
Indeed, but Whitechapel's respectively could quite easily describe the Sunday bests that all lower-class men own. Now, let's place ourselves in the shoes of Liz Stride's killer. He has just slain his victim and sees Louis Diemschutz discover her body. Our killer is at great risk if he stays in the area. He therefore gets away from this spot. But he wants to kill again. However, he might have been spotted in the area before having committed the murder by a constable on his round, perhaps, who managed to get his description. What do you think the killer will do?
Flee and look for another victim?
Well, yeah, why wouldn't he?
No, that's not it.
Oh,
No,
excuse
Watson.
me.
No, Watson.
By disguise?
No, wait a minute. Return home or to a safe place and change and go look for another victim. What, really?
Well, I haven't
Go
gotten
back
that
home
far
or
yet.
to a safe location, change his clothes and leave again in search of another victim.
Yeah, so that he couldn't
It's
be
the only
identified
possible
twice the same
explanation,
way.
Watson.
Yeah.
The man returned to the safety of his lodgings and then decided to go out again with new clothes and repeat his sinister nocturnal work. That's how the discrepancies between the witnesses with regards to clothing can be explained.
What a cold-blooded animal.
And what determination! Powerful motives are pushing this man. Thus, we can conclude that the respectable man with the package may very well have been seen by the two Josephs.
Even if it is just a mannequin, it's giving me goosebumps.
Well, he's
Have
scared
we
of
really
everything.
made any progress, Holmes? I mean, there must be thousands of men in Whitechapel who match this description, wouldn't you say?
You're right, Watson. We have worked on who, now let's work on where. We need a map of Whitechapel, and please also find me a pencil, 2 compasses, one of which can draw ellipses.
So now we have to walk around and find those things in our apartment.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, look, knives.
Sherlock slowly, tucks away a blonde wig into his pocket.
No, why? Because he's the killer all along.
Yes, that was my joke.
He hates women because they're not as beautiful as his Watson.
That makes sense. I would too.
You would hate women too because they weren't as beautiful as your Watson?
Yeah, if Watson was right there, of course I'd never go for a woman.
That makes sense. And you'd be so mad that women even exist in the presence
Yes.
of his glory?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Watson to Sherlock is what Nate is to me. You know? Nate's my Watson. I'm Sherlock, though. I'm the main character.
So what am I?
You're like, I don't know, just someone who, shows up sometimes in the story to add sexual tension. You know?
That makes sense.
That's what you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who was the girl that Sherlock Holmes was with? There was some girl that he had a fleeting romance with in one of the shows.
But
or
nobody
something.
remembers her name because they all care more about him and Watson.
I don't
I
remember
have
her
no
name.
reason to go that way.
I can't find a pencil.
Irene Adler. Well, that's what I remember.
That's a tragic name.
One of the only love interests of Sherlock Holmes, at least in the Sherlock show.
We'll need a map, Watson.
Oh, a map. Sorry, I didn't know what we were looking
Go
for.
to Twitter.
Bubby, you know where a map might be?
On the wall, maybe? Right there?
The map? The map, the map, the map, the map, the map.
There.
I am in need of something. I am in need of something.
First of all, let's place our 4 murders on this map, as well as the spot where the graffito appeared and the piece of apron was dropped.
Interesting. So we're going to place the 4 murders. So,
Okay,
who died
so-
where?
Annie Chapman died on Bucks Row.
You just remember that?
Yeah. Liz Stride died in Dutfield's Yard. Polly Nichols died... Actually, I think Polly Nichols died there, and then
We can
Annie
always check
Chapman
the
died
documents.
Hanbury Street, actually. And then Catherine died on Goulston Street. And the graffiti was here.
Well, that is correct, yes.
Was it there? No, actually.
The graffiti was in Minor Square, wasn't it?
Perfect, Watson.
Oh.
Let's connect each crime scene to the one out of the others that is the furthest.
Okay, so then that one in the bottom left will go to the one in the bottom top right.
Was he going to say anything about it?
No. Now connect that one to the one up there.
Okay.
You see, Watson, the murders aren't grouped together, but seem to be spread out like cardinal points around a central zone. The killer obviously wanted to avoid returning to the previous scenes of his crimes, assuming that they would be more closely watched, or that he could be recognized.
So the killer lives at the center of this cross.
In the vicinity, most certainly, but how near? We cannot afford to get it wrong. If you concentrate, Watson, you will notice that the murders are roughly equidistant from the intersection point of the diagonals. Let's focus on the night of the double murder. Remember, Watson, it took us 20 minutes to get from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square. Let's draw a line from one to the other.
From Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square?
Perfect. We didn't make the trip as the crow flies, but that would not harm our estimate. Let's suppose the killer left Dutfield's Yard at 1 a.m. and arrived in Mitre Square at 1:35 a.m. when he was seen by the two Josephs. If he took 5 minutes to change his clothes, that leaves a range of 10 minutes to determine where this man's lodgings are. We must determine the area in which one can go from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square in less than half an hour. To do this, let's draw an ellipsis. The length between Dutfield's Yard and Mitre Square corresponds to 20 minutes. By adding half, we get a distance of 30 minutes. By taking the two right segments, each starting from the two murder scenes, and which the sum of the lengths makes 30 minutes, we get our ellipses.
Let's draw an ellipses. The length between Dutfield's Yard and Mitre Square corresponds to 20 minutes. By adding half, we get a distance of 30 minutes. By taking the two right segments, each starting from the two murder scenes, and which the sum of the lengths makes 30 minutes, we get our ellipses.
What's an ellipses?
I think it's circle? I don't think that's it.
I think it's from the one crime scene to the other crime scene.
This one?
Yeah.
Like this?
No. Like start in the middle and try and connect them. The middle of the two crime scenes. Start in the middle of the line. Nope.
Like here?
Yeah, try that.
There we are.
Oh, okay.
Our killer lives in this area.
It's still rather a vast area, Holmes.
Yes, indeed. And our goal is to reduce this area as much as we can. We must consider the fact that the murder at Mitre Square was committed under a certain amount of pressure, given that the killer knew he was wanted for the acts he committed not long before. We can assume that he had to do it in a safe zone, that is, an area not far from where he lives. This is especially true of an act such as the graffiti he carried out after two murders. Let's trace a circle around this point, with the distance separating it from Mitre Square as the radius. This will enable us to determine our killer's safe zone.
Try starting at the Jewish graffiti.
Okay. And then where do you think
Kind of
I
like
go?
spreading it out a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Like go out. No, a little bit in. Up, out. More. A little more. Try that.
Our killer must surely live inside this circle. Now, let's intersect it with the ellipsis that we previously determined. There we are, Watson, the Aldgate district.
Shouldn't we inform the police so that they can concentrate their efforts on this area of Whitechapel?
It is probably already crawling with inspectors, Watson, and I doubt that they would take us seriously, even if they were willing to listen to what we had to say. Let's focus instead on understanding the killer's modus operandi. We know our murderer preys on prostitutes who are penniless, weak, sick, or alcoholic, that he distracts them the moment before killing them, and that he left an anonymous message inciting anti-Semitic hatred at the entrance of a building occupied by Jews. How would you describe this man?
What a coward.
Indeed, he is a person of great cowardice. Let's look at his murders, and in particular, the depredations on the corpses, putting aside that of Liz Stride, because on that occasion, his work was left unfinished. If we recall the observations made on the victims and the parts that were mutilated or damaged on each of the bodies, without forgetting the fact that he also removed one or more organs, we can ascertain that our killer evolves during the course of the murders, cowardly and still evolving. And yet, look at the location of our first murder, that of Polly Nichols in Bucks Row. It is the most distant from the area our killer would appear to live. Perhaps this murder was preceded by another within the killer's area. I believe a cowardly killer would commit his first murder in an area close to his home in order to find refuge as quickly as possible on carrying out the act.
Holmes, an idea just occurred to me that fills me with dread. This evolution of which you speak.
He will pursue his next victim as long as the conditions permit him to continue killing Watson.
But how could one go even further in this horror? Look at what he did to that woman, Catherine Eddowes.
In order to avoid having to answer that question, we must act with haste and planning. Watson, I suggest you inform yourself on the mutilations sustained by the victims. We played with the idea that this could be an act of vengeance against prostitutes. If the mutilations correspond to areas affected by a specific pathology, perhaps the killer wanted to give an eye for an affliction he felt the prostitutes he knew were responsible for.
And this trail leading to Dr. Tumblety Holmes?
I also have a few things to look into in the meantime. I still have a primary witness to track down, not to mention old trails I've yet to pursue. See you soon, Watson. When we first spoke about the Bucks Row murder with Watson, he was reading a newspaper, The Star, dated September 1st, 1888, I believe, which mentioned similar murders in the preceding months. I have no chance of finding the police reports, but perhaps I could find some information at the Central News Agency. I must go there at once. Afterwards, I'll go back to see Abraham, the owner of the pet shop in Whitechapel. The second Joseph's statement would lead me to believe that he may know the man spotted on the corner of Church Passage that night. If that's the case, I must find this witness so I can question him.
So we have to find the witness. So do we leave?
I believe so.
Are we heading to the area of the killer?
No, we're going to talk to Abraham.
I have no reason to go that way.
I thought we were
not at the
going to
pet
talk
shop.
to Abraham.
Nothing of interest here.
No, we're going to talk to his friend.
Oh.